New foster care legislation such as House Bill 1227 and House Bill 915 gives CASA volunteers better access to their children's information and helps them take better care of their foster children. The children also now have the opportunity to choose what medication they want to take and not take. We went to a local foster care organization called CASA and spoke with Sherry Gideon, executive director of the program, to get her opinions on the new legislation.
What do you think about the recent legislation in the bills?
The ones you talked about?
Yeah, the bills we talked about, the House Bill 1227.
Yeah, and I can't remember which is which, but the one for medication, we've needed that for a long, long time. There are a lot of studies that show, and it's an issue that they were talking about when I came to CASA 15 years ago, and it's just been an issue every other legislative session, but I guess they finally listened.
And Texas Representative Lloyd Doggett listened.
Mr. Speaker, abused and neglected children in the foster care system are among the most vulnerable children in our communities. These children have the same needs, desires, and dreams as all young people. They need a safe and loving home. They want and deserve the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to fully experience life. A successful adoption provides foster children with these necessities and gives them the opportunity to achieve their full God-given potential. Investing in the success of our foster children is not only good for them, but in so many communities, it's the difference between those young people becoming a community asset and a community liability.
And he's not alone. Representative John Lewis is another one of the many advocates in this case. In June of last year, he sponsored H.R. 2028, or the Every Child Deserves a Family Act. This bill would prevent foster kids as well as prospective parents from being rejected based on sexual orientation, and it also prevents potential parents from being discriminated against due to marital status, allowing more kids to have the opportunity to be adopted into loving homes. And the efforts keep coming.
These improvements in the local adoption system have been encouraged and utilized by important local child advocates like District Judge Peter Sakai and CASA San Antonio. They've allowed for faster and more efficient placement of foster youth into permanent families.
Another way that legislation is being implemented to improve foster care situations is through grants.
Recognizing the importance of maintaining the link between family and children in foster care, the legislation also extends a relatively new but expiring program known as the Family Connection Grants. These grants go out on a competitive basis to local organizations and state agencies to support various approaches for improving connections between foster families and their children.
Along with this legislation, there is a new proposed bill called the Rehab and Ahmed Foster Care Improvement Act of 2013, which would reinforce the rights of relatives of a child taken away from their parents by mandating that they be contacted within 90 days and documentation of why they were taken away, as well as stronger rights in court to review the loss of custody.
What do you think about the introduced bill of rehab, the one that, makes it so you have to contact family members before they're taken
I think it's a great idea. I think they're going to have to put some parameters around that because sometimes we don't even know who the family are.
Yeah.
And if the parents are not, if the children don't know and the parents are not willing to give that information, it takes a while to find.
These foster children didn't choose to live this kind of life, and they are everywhere in our community.
My name's Alonzo Portlock, and I'm 3 years old, and I'm sitting on the front steps. My brother and I were waiting for my mother to come out and take us to the beach. So our mother's inside the house doing what she normally does. She's probably getting high, but we're waiting for her on the steps. And all of a sudden, this woman comes out of the house and just stabs me in the back 4 times. After that, I don't remember anything. I just blacked out. I'm 8 years old. My mother's still using the drugs and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she decides, I don't want to be a mother anymore. Because now it's like, now what? Now what do we do? 30 minutes later, I'm in the system. I'm institutionalized now. That was real tough for me.
And while Alonzo's story ended on a better note, this is not the case for so many children in foster care, and while efforts are underway, so much more can be done to make a difference with the help of our community and every community.